Here we go, folks. As we come up to 4 o'clock on a Thursday, you can see downtown Denver where there is snow. Not yet really on the roads, though. You had to deal with some of that this morning. But there is more snow coming our way after that blast hit us this morning, making the morning drive slow and slick. Well, this next round is probably going to be in the way of everyone trying to get home. It is also going to get very cold, especially for Coloradans who don't have a home. Denver's going to turn the Carla Madison Rec Center into an overnight shelter for anyone experiencing homelessness with these cold temperatures. The city's other rec centers will be open during normal hours if people need to stop in and warm up. Of course, we have team coverage of the storm and the weather. Matt Jablow and Lauren Robinson will be keeping an eye on the roads for us. Corey Reppenhagen's up in Arvada, where they may see as many as 10 inches of snow. And Kathy has the full forecast coming up in just a moment.
Let's take a live look at Boulder right now, where they could see a lot of snow, 10 inches. Hey, it's coming down again there. I think we're on the Pearl Street Mall. Someone's out there walking, but I only see one person out there walking. This storm brings more snow than it will actually moisture, and Corey is going to explain the science behind that in a little bit.
Yeah, before we check in with any of our crews, though, Kathy insists on going first.
I'm so sorry. I think it's, what is that, age? I don't know, age before.
No, but there's a lot to talk about because people saw that blast this morning and said, is this it?
Yeah.
But it wasn't it. It is still coming.
Now, we warned you there was going to be a blast. And, you know, even if it's just a little bit of snow, when temperatures are as cold as they were, that's going to create an icy, slick mess on sidewalks and on roadways. But this isn't the real storm that you experienced already today. You're probably thinking, why are they canceling all my kids' activities tonight? What is going on? The main course system is coming in just a few hours. Outside, light snow is falling over downtown Denver. First, the snow this morning. Now comes the cold with an Arctic front that is diving south along the Front Range. Snow over the Continental Divide, making for reduced visibility and icy and snow-packed roadways. I-70, call ahead if you're planning travel up that way. Afternoon temperatures bitter cold in the 20s and going down into the single digits tonight with wind chills to about 8 and 10 below zero. Cold air's coming right in from Canada and points beyond, so we've got that surge of even colder air yet to come tonight between about 8 p.m. and about midnight. So we're looking at current wind chill values that have been shifting a little bit. Not a lot of wind out there, so they haven't been awful, but we do expect that we'll see wind chills in downtown Denver around -8 this evening, so plan accordingly. You can see this band of snow just kind of sagging to the south a little bit, but the heavier snow band is to the north of us, and we do expect it to kind of start to move in during the drive time tonight, but really ramp up around 9 or 10 o'clock. Now, this whole thing is out of here by tomorrow morning, but the damage will be done. Tomorrow morning's drive is going to be tough, even if the snow stops falling, because single-digit temperatures, wind chill below zero, 3 to 6 inches of snow for Denver, and 5 to 10 inches for points north and west, including Fort Collins and Greeley under a winter storm warning, and that does include Boulder and Arvada as well. Look where we got you at 9 o'clock tonight. Boulder, that heavy band is right there. Arvada, Denver, Aurora, Highlands Ranch. We get you into 3:30 in the morning. Some improvement for Fort Collins, Greeley, and Loveland. By tomorrow morning, it's all done, but the cold does not go away. Roads will be icy and snowpacked, and even with the sunshine, that winter weather advisory for Denver remains in effect through 9 a.m. So out and about tonight, jacket, gloves, and walk and drive slowly. I can tell you it is slippery out there. Snow showers will be light until about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then we're going to see those bands start to pick up. I'm going to cover the timing of this, the amounts, and what you can expect coming up in just a few minutes. And of course, for Kim and Tom and anybody else, when are we going to break out of this deep freeze anyway? The weekend's almost here.
Yeah.
Right?
That is a giant TV screen behind you, and luckily you're tall enough to be able to reach those top corners when you point to parts.
Isn't that great? 5'11", and then you put a little baby heel on me, and I'm like, you know, a skyscraper over here.
She can cover it all, coast to
I can touch
coast.
the top, see?
Yeah, corner to corner.
I could reach that second one. I could reach the second line.
We'll bring Kim over later to see
Kim's my fun-size friend.
where the limits are. Kathy will stay with you throughout the hour. Thanks as always.
Sounds good.
Well, many hopefully had the boss say, why don't you go on home before things get a little wild out there, like the Auraria campus. They closed at 3 today because of the snow.
So far, we haven't really heard of any other snow closures. We will keep you posted, of course, because things could change. The snow's going to pick up again. Let's get more on the roads, though, right now. And Matt Jablow off the crime and justice beat today, but focused on the roads, Matt.
Kim, the snow started falling a little earlier than expected this morning, making for some tough driving around the metro area, but most people agree it could have been a whole lot worse. Now the focus has shifted to the drive home. According to CDOT, more than 100 plows are out in Region 1, which covers Metro Denver and the I-70 mountain corridor from Golden to the Eisenhower Tunnel. They say crews will be plowing and treating state-maintained roads 24/7 throughout the storm and afterwards if necessary. Before the snow started falling this morning, crews pre-treated stretches of I-25, especially in the southern part of the Denver area. They also pre-treated bridge decks and shaded areas that often ice up during winter storms.
They were pre-treating the roads in advance of the storm, which helped to melt the snow and ice as it reached the roads. But we did get some accumulation. And as our trucks are out, they are spreading de-icer, which helps to break up the snow and ice once it is on the pavement.
CDOT says so far today there have not been any major accidents in Metro Denver. Hopefully, of course, that will continue through the night and into tomorrow. Kim and Tom?
So let's be honest, behind you it looks pretty nice. You're downtown, right? Downtown Denver, where it's dry right now.
Yeah, we're at 12th and Broadway, Tom. It is dry. The streets are a little bit wet, but nothing is sticking. A few small flakes are flying, but so far so good. As you can see, traffic is moving nicely. Let us hope, as I said before, that continues for a while, just as long as it takes for people to get home.
All righty. Thank you, Matt. We've seen different pictures from different places telling different stories.
Absolutely. And we're going to continue our team coverage because we've got Lauren in the studio keeping an eye on the traffic this afternoon because we know it's different in different places.
Lauren, have you seen anything different in some areas that might be of concern right now traffic-wise?
Well, it might be a disappointing answer, but the good news is no, everything is looking pretty good around the metro right now as far as traffic is concerned. So if you do have to get out and about, now's maybe that good time to come before our next round of snow pushes into the area. Right now I have a live look outside at I-25 and 8th Avenue, and you can see both northbound and southbound lanes starting to get full with that evening rush hour, but everything's still moving along without any real issue. Also, pleased to report we don't have any active crashes on the map right now, but I do have some drive times for you that might help you out. Near that area where we just took a live look outside, I-25 southbound lanes moving at around 24 miles per hour, and we have 14 miles per hour in the northbound lanes, so not too bad there. We are starting to see some slowing around the Commerce City area, specifically along I-270, the westbound lanes between I-25 and I-70. We're going to see some slowing there, speed slowing to around 11 miles per hour in that area. Now, as we head a little bit further west, along I-70 westbound, you can see this red here where we have slowing speeds down to around 7 miles per hour. So of course you want to make sure you continue to take your time. If you're in an area where you're seeing that slowing, just calm down and go around it. You don't want to do anything too drastic because we're going to continue to see this slowing, and just take your time going home. So I-70 westbound, 12 miles per hour there. And if we take a look further east near Aurora, I-225 northbound and southbound lanes moving anywhere between 14 to 17 miles per hour. So as I said, no active crashes out there, but some areas could take you a little longer. Just take your time and you should get to where you're going safely.
All right, good idea any day, especially today.
Yeah, especially
Thank
today.
you, Lauren, for keeping us posted. She was pointing out some of the areas to the north and to the west, like parts of Arvada, Golden, and Boulder, that might see some of the most snow from this particular storm.
If there is a bullseye to the storm, you know that is where we're going to find meteorologist Corey Rippenhagen. By the way, could you leave Arvada, please, in Golden? Because I really don't want to be in the bullseye later on, Corey.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I don't even have to chase this thing this time. The Arvada Weather Bureau here in the northern part of Arvada just happens to be in that winter storm warning where we could get more than 5 inches of snow tonight. Now, storms like this, we've seen them before where they're split into 2 different sections. They can be pretty difficult on the psyche, trying to figure out when the highest impact will come. My advice is that the storm will be here until 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So expect that to happen somewhere in there. Now, if you use the computer modeling and just the logic of the sun going down, sometime between the sun setting and about midnight, we're probably going to see some of that action that we usually cause a little chaos around the metro. Now, for right now, just very light snow here in North Arvada, and it's been this way since noon. We haven't really added to any accumulation. We're almost up to about 2 inches out here, but the roads kind of dried out. So we'll wait and see what that second wave has in store for us. If there's any clue what happened this morning, will happen again. It iced the roads, snowpack pretty quick, and the next wave will probably be a little bit longer in duration and possibly a little bit heavier in snowfall.
All right, so don't panic, just prepare to panic.
Right.
Get ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we do best around here.
Good tips as always. All right, Corey, we'll check back with you in a bit. Thanks as always for the update there.
And don't forget, you can always keep your eye on the latest forecast on the 9 News app. You can get ready for tomorrow morning because that one's going to be a good one, and a Friday, no less. Tune in tonight to 9 News at 10 right here on Channel 9, and we'll also be on the air starting tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
There is, of course, other news of the day, and we talk about by the end of tonight, the city of Denver might have 5 fewer schools. In just minutes, the school board is scheduled to vote on the closing of 5 campuses with declining enrollments.
And it could be a close vote, and it may not pass. Some board members have already come out against the proposal. 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan is joining us to explain how we got here. Cole, the district has been concerned about declining numbers for students for years now.
Since at least 2017, Kim. Back then, the school board told the district to examine school consolidation, and tonight, board members will decide whether to actually take action on it.
All of us that are going to have to really dig in and figure out how we move forward when great change is happening.
For more than 5 years,
this is something that we need our best thinking on.
Denver school board members have tried to figure out what to do.
The decline in enrollment is continuing to take place.
The district has fewer students than it used to, and that means less money. It says 6,000 fewer kids and $36 million fewer dollars.
In most cases, it's people moving out of the city just due to the cost of living.
Back in 2017, the board created a committee to examine school consolidation.
Be it further resolved that in the face of the sharp decline in the number of school-aged children...
Last year, it approved a resolution to review under-enrolled schools.
This is not something that just happened overnight. This is something that we've known about for a number of years.
The head of the Teachers Association says schools with fewer students face tough decisions.
Do we cut the music position or do we cut the PE position? What do we do to balance that budget?
Robert Gould says the district needs to make a change. But despite years of planning, he says it dropped the ball with these proposed closures.
Because if you close these 5 schools, that may be a temporary fix, but that's just a symptom. That doesn't actually get to what needs to change.
He wants board members to vote no and to force the district back to the drawing board. That will mean an extension of a process that started more than 5 years ago. In addition to voting on the specific school closures tonight, the board will also decide whether to take back its directive to even look at consolidating schools. That board meeting is scheduled to begin in just about 19 minutes. Kim and Tom.
So many passionate pleas last week from parents and students themselves. But also, when you talk about the fact they feel like they need to do this, what kind of money are they thinking they could save or how they could redistribute that money?
Yeah, so the district says it has to supplement the money for some of the smaller schools because they don't have enough pupils to add that per pupil income from the state. They say it'll be about $2.5 million for these 5 school closures.
Tough decisions lie ahead. We'll keep an eye on what happens in the next few minutes, as you said. Thank you, Cole.
Of course.
Thanksgiving is 1 week from today, but this year, family gatherings are a little more challenging for some Coloradans. Inflation, supply chain issues, and bouts of avian flu have risen the price of turkey and about everything else this past year. Today, Food Bank of the Rockies is teaming up with the Optimist Club of Aurora to serve 700 turkey dinners to Boys and Girls Club members in the metro area. They have spent all week preparing the dinners using 44 turkeys. It's all to make sure that the kids get a chance to enjoy a Thanksgiving meal.
Everybody's hungry and everybody wants to enjoy some of the turkey stuff, you know, that a lot of us take for granted, and some of these folks can't afford it, especially now with the price of groceries going up. It's very challenging. We're just very fortunate to be able to provide those meals to the kids.
The full meal comes with turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, green bean casserole, dinner rolls, and apple and pumpkin pie. And right now, you can donate to our 9 Cares Colorado Shares telethon. All you need to do is call this number, 303-577-2080. We have a hardy group of volunteers that have braved the roads to come in, and they are ready to answer your calls and think about all of those families that could use a little boost and a little bit of help right now. We'd like to get those phone numbers ringing. So 303-577-2080, 2080.
Well, some things didn't stop because of the weather today. The DU men's soccer team, one of them, they're hosting the University of San Diego right now. Round one of the NCAA men's soccer tournament. So as you can see, the DU staff had to clear the field of all that snow in time for the game. Pretty exciting game right now. It is a scoreless tie. They're headed to overtime over at DU. So a big finish for somebody, whether it's the Toreros or the Pioneers over at DU. We'll have more on the snowy soccer game coming up tonight on Next with Kyle Clark.
That seems so hard to clear grass.
Well, it's even harder to play on it. We've been watching the game, and it's been difficult for both teams. Obviously, it's cold, and the field is tough to work with. The ball's hard to work with. So hopefully, for local fans, the DU Pioneers will find a way to move on in the NCAA tournament. Yep, one might get it done today.